So let's set a scene. You're a dude named Stan, or maybe Jack, or maybe even named Larry, and you're just sitting around an office, but then you get Idea, a man who is normal size, but he gets small. And then he get big. Bam! You've just created Hank Pym, aka Ant-Man. Now let's set another scene. It's 17 years later, and you're a dude named John or Bob or David, and you're also in the same office. And you're just thinking about a small but big man and how you can make him interesting. And bam, idea. Guy who goes small and then big, and he'll be played by Paul Rudd in 36 years. Now you've created Scott Lang, the second Ant-Man. Now the final scene. It's 27 years later, small but can also be big men, is a huge hit. People love them. So now you're a dude named either Robert or Phil. You're in an office, per usual, but you're also in a hammock this time. You're just thinking about a normal-sized man who goes small, but also big. But he's a pervert. You got Eric O'Grady, the third Ant-Man, and also the topic of this video. Eric O'Grady is a character who, if you would have asked me my opinion on him a month ago, I would have said, fuck that guy. If you would ask me my opinion on him today, I'd say, fuck that guy. But I enjoy his character. So how does this horrible scum become a hero? Especially Ant-Man, who is so prestigious that the two other people that held the mantle was a deranged scientist who's toxic and misogynistic, and a former criminal. Well, Eric was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who was guarding Hank Pym's lab with his best friend named Chris, but them being bumbling idiots kinda rocked Hank's shit when he came out by accident. With Hank being unconscious, Eric and Chris decided to, instead of wanking Hank up, snoop around his office and find the latest Ant-Man suit. Chris then put on the suit and accidentally shrank down, and Eric panicked, thinking his friend just got obliterated or something. Chris was now lost in the helicarrier when, bam! Hydra is back, and they're attacking S.H.I.E.L.D. again. How many times is this now? I don't know, but it feels like too many. During the attack, Chris tries to help, and ends up growing big again, and finding Eric's room. When trying to hide in there, Chris was pushed by Eric and killed by an incoming bullet. Eric took the suit off his best friend's dead body, and the helicarrier crashed. Eric survives the crash, and still works for S.H.I.E.L.D. using free time to explore the capabilities of the suit that probably still smells like the corpse of Chris. One time when trying the suit, he witnessed domestic violence occur and tried to stop it by hitting the abuser in the throat, but ended up seriously injuring him. Eric now seems like a kinda good dude, right? Not really. He uses the suit to save women and ask them on dates later. At the date, he forgets his wallet and has the woman pay. After that, he orders expensive stuff and ditches the girl and never talks to them again. Even worse though, a fellow S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, Agent Carson, who was said to become the next Ant-Man, was assigned to find out who stole the Ant-Man suit. Carson was also given a not-as-high-tech Ant-Man suit to find Eric. Obviously, Carson finds out Eric has it and confronts him, and the two battle it out. Eric wins, but ends up badly burning Carson's face with his jetpack. Eric flees after he takes Carson to the infirmary. I already hear you saying, but Blue, he helped people and he took Carson to the infirmary, meaning he still cares and he's a good guy. Quiet person, that doesn't exist, and I simply created for me to be able to segue to the next thing. I'm talking. So like the imaginary person said, he may have just stolen tech and hurt someone badly, but he still has a good heart since he did stop that one crime. Well, yes, he did stop that one crime, but how about all the ones he committed, besides theft and attempted murder? Now, I just want to note real quick, this isn't played for jokes. These are serious topics, and knowing this information is integral to knowing this character. Now that we have the disclaimer out of the way, back to the video. These are the big crimes. How about the crimes that would put him on an offender list of the sex variety? Yeah, this bitch committed multiple crimes with the Ant-Man suit, including sexual harassment and even assault in some cases. When I say this guy sucks, I'm taking it easy on him, cause holy hell. After Eric burns Carson's face, he's on the run and hunted by S.H.I.E.L.D. While on the run, he saves someone and gets offered a job at Damage Control, a group of superpowered individuals who clean up the mess people like the Avengers make. While on the team, he took on the name the Slaying Mantis. He was very happy in his job and even dated one of his co-workers. A problem did arise though, as Eric O'Grady's origin takes place during the Civil War event. For those who don't know what Marvel Civil War is, I'll sum it up for you. Hey, Captain America, so You know how a couple days ago that those superheroes kind of killed like 600 people? Yeah, I think that shouldn't happen again. I think we should make sure that doesn't happen.
No.
Now that you have a perfect understanding of the Marvel Civil War comic event, back to Eric. Eric and the rest of Damage Control heroes need to register the superhero identities and powers to the government in accordance to the Superhero Registration Act. But since Eric has taken his suit illegally, he pays off the SHIELD agent and grabs stuff from Damage Control's Lost and Found to take his picture for his superhero registration card to create whatever the fuck this is. Now Eric is a fully fledged superhero, even though he's committed like 3 types of identity fraud at this point. Shortly after all this, Hulk takes over New York City. Eric and a co-worker from Damage Control tell the others to evacuate while they try to help people, and if needed, fight the Hulk. Well, guess what? This is a fucking comic book. That's exactly what happens. Eric has to fight the Hulk. How does this rookie defeat the Hulk? He doesn't. He tries to fight the Hulk from the inside of him, and he ends up defeated by the Hulk's stomach, because apparently the Hulk's stomach is super strong. Eric is then sneezed out. Lucky for us, the readers, not him, he woke up in the SHIELD infirmary with his good buddy Carson, right next to him with a fresh pair of handcuffs. Carson was understandably pissed, and he kinda took Eric to a secret room and tortured Eric with his own Ant-Man suit. Just as Carson was about to get his revenge by burning Eric's face like what was done to him, Iron Man had to come in and ruin the fun by subduing Carson. Eric promptly blamed everything on Carson, and Iron Man believed him since the only other witness to the theft of the suit is kinda... yeah. Eric was still working for S.H.I.E.L.D. with Iron Man being the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. But with Civil War going on, Hank Pym and Tony Stark were desperate for a new Ant-Man, and no one else knew the suit like Eric. They would give Eric his old suit back as long as he joined the initiative, which meant he was a government hero. This was a pretty easy choice for Eric since he already worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., so they already had all the information on him anyways. Not much happened in the Civil War time for him, other than him getting trained a little more, getting in a fight with Scott Lang's daughter, befriending Taskmaster, and fighting off an alien invasion. You know, the usual. Next for Eric was joining the Thunderbolts, basically a bunch of heroes and villains doing government work. This team was led by Norman Osborn. One of Eric's first missions was killing Deadpool. To understand why, we have to go back to the previously mentioned alien invasion. Deadpool was approached by Nick Fury during the alien invasion, and was assigned to steal top secret data and transfer it back to Nick Fury for money because what else would Deadpool want? But while I was uploading, Norman Osborn snatched the data and used it to make him look like a hero. So now Deadpool did all this work just so some rich man with waves could steal his work for a 100% off discount. Deadpool wasn't really going to have that, so he sent an invoice to Norman Osborn, which apparently wasn't the smartest move, because now the team of heroes and villains known as the Thunderbolts are coming after him. Deadpool didn't quite like that idea, so he came to them, which is better apparently. When Deadpool goes to the tower, Norman is cooped up and he expects to find, well, Norman, but instead he finds the Thunderbolts. After asking Black Widow if she has a boyfriend, he promptly gets hit in the junk. But lucky for him, that was a gun in his pocket. But according to him, he was also happy to see her. After fleeing from the fight, it is revealed that Deadpool has hired Taskmaster to imitate him and wear his costume. So now 2 Deadpools running around means the Thunderbolts have to break into 2 teams. Black Widow to distract Deadpool by calling him, and the other to go fight the Deadpool Black Widow is calling. On their way there, though, the second team gets assaulted by none other than Deadpool, but he's in a plane. Also, now the Calling Deadpool has switched to Plain Deadpool, and Calling Deadpool's now going to Black Widow, who's currently on the phone with Plain Deadpool, who I guess we should rename to Calling Deadpool since he's now calling, but I don't really have a name for other Deadpool, so we're going with it. If you're confused, don't worry, it means you understand. After all, this is a Deadpool comic. Eventually, the Thunderbolts catch up to Deadpool and, quote-unquote, killed him. But it's Deadpool and you can't really kill him, so Norman ends up sending the Avengers instead. Many missions later, Eric was having second thoughts about joining the team, and he regretted a lot of the things he did and saw well there, but knew he couldn't leave because Osborn would have him killed. He then reveals to his teammate and friend Paladin how he faked his SHIELD files to make him seem cooler than he is. Doing that is the only reason he's on the Thunderbolts now. Still, with no way to escape, the Thunderbolts are launched into another mission where they have to hunt down a former Thunderbolt named Songbird. While on the mission, the Thunderbolts are split up, and it's revealed Black Widow is actually Black Widow. I'm so glad that Black Widow movie came out so I don't have to explain all that. Turns out Yelena was actually Natasha the whole time on the mission and was working for Nick Fury. Black Widow and Songbird now have to run from the Thunderbolts to Nick Fury's secret base, but Ant-Man was following them the whole time and they get captured and brought directly to Norman Osborn in his Dark Avengers. There, Norman reveals that he's been pretending to be the Nick Fury Black Widow thought she was working for so she could lead him to the real Nick Fury. Black Widow and Songbird are then escorted away from Norman and Nick. The Thunderbolts are then told to kill Songbird and bring Natasha to an interrogation room. Headsman, the person going to kill Songbird, betrays the Thunderbolts at the last minute, and it breaks out into a fight with team against team. Ghost and Paladin fighting the rest of the Thunderbolts and covering for Black Widow and Songbird to escape. Luckily, no one dies, and Ghost makes it so they all can stay Thunderbolts and the others won't remember a thing. Ant-Man wasn't involved in the fight, though, and simply watched in fear from a ventilation shaft. On Eric's final mission, Norman and Iron Man fight, and the Thunderbolts are sent to Asgard to steal the Spear of Odin for Norman. Luckily, they are thwarted by the real Avengers. Well, kind of the real Avengers. It now breaks into a full-on fight, and eventually turns into Paladin and Ant-Man versus Avengers and the rest of the Thunderbolts. Ant-Man and Paladin manage to take Odin's spear and hide, letting the Avengers beat the Thunderbolts and run off looking for them. Paladin, regretting his actions, takes off on his own to hide the spear and reclaim his previously hero name. Eric, on the other hand, takes a now-deceased Headsman stuff to Headsman's brother. Upon doing this, Eric gains a sense of nobility and reflects on all the things he did. As he leaves, he talks about how inspiring Headsman was and how he's going to try to be a better person after the example he set. It's funny because it doesn't happen. Next for Eric is joining the prestigious Avengers. Kinda. He joins the Secret Avengers, but still the Avengers. This was a Black Ops team led by a shieldless, kinda, Captain America, and members include Ant-Man, forgive me for saying this, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Moon Knight, Beast, and many others. Nothing character-defining happens yet, so let's move on to the next book. Ant-Man and the Wasp features Eric O'Grady as Ant-Man and Hank Pym as the Wasp, going to fight AIM, who has stolen some of Hank's tech. This tech was apparently a man-made heaven that Hank made for Goliath when he died. Eric, being an Irish Catholic, questions Hank playing God because, after all, he literally created heaven. I'm not going to get into the comic logic of how this heaven works. Just know that when you quote-unquote die, your quote-unquote soul gets uploaded to a digital utopia. Of course, Eric and Hank win, and Hank sends AIM into the year 2020. Wait, what? I'm sorry, what? Okay, so this book came out in 2011, and they somehow predicted, even though it's an alternate universe, they somehow predicted the year 2020 being a hellhole. Dr. Henry Pym has some fucking explaining to do, sir. What? That's just... man. Alright. Let's go back to Secret Avengers. So the Secret Avengers are now being led by Hawkeye. Their first mission with Hawkeye as a leader is to go save a woman and her child from a bunch of evil robots. They fail, but Ant-Man hides on one of the robots and heads back to the secret base of the robots. The robots are then revealed to be the Descendants, a society of LMDs, robots, cyborgs, and androids. The reason they took the woman and her child is because they are a balance of nature and technology. Both the woman and the kid have powers, but when the Descendants realize that the woman can't be brought to their side, they attempt to kill her and raise the child themselves. At that moment, Ant-Man becomes big and tries to fight off the Descendants as best he can, but he gets knocked down. The woman lunges towards him and sacrifices herself so Eric can live. Eric realized that the person he was supposed to protect, even if it meant he dies, died saving him. Eric makes sure that won't happen again and grabs the boy and jumps out the window, using the last of his Pym particles to shrink down and save him and the boy. Eric is now on the run in a city full of Descendants hunting him down. Eventually, the Avengers find a way into the city, and Eric sees them enter. Eric screams at them for help, but they do not hear him. Unfortunately, some robots hunting him down do. Eric, realizing there's no way he and the boy can both get out of this, tells the boy to run while he fights them off the best he can. Eric is overpowered and is then brutally murdered. But at that final moment, he was happy. He finally did the one thing he never could. he became not just a good hero, but a good person.